I'm really worried about the state of the world. I'm really, really, really worried, scared, fearful. There's AI, there's the recession, there's the lingering effects of COVID, there's job uncertainty, there's declining birth rates, there's the war, so fuel scarcity, food scarcity. My God, what if I get enlisted into the war? What if there's a national draft? There's politics and all that, just in general. Yeah, it all feels dismal, abysmal, mm. Scary. Apocalyptic? Mm. Like potential catastrophe. And it feels like it just keeps piling on, piling on, piling on. And I'm under this pile. I'm in an office and I'm drowning in paperwork, and people keep flinging my office door open and just throwing more on top of the pile. It's never ending. It doesn't feel like I'll ever get through all of this work. But the work isn't work. It's not my job. It's life. Because I could just quit that job and then not have to deal with that pile of work. Someone else can, whoever takes my role, they can deal with that. So I have an out of that, but it feels like there's no out of this. There's no way out. There's no way around. It's this uncertainty. What's going to happen? Where am I going to go? How am I going to survive? But not just me. How is my species going to survive? There's global warming too. How is the Earth going to survive? It's like this fear. I don't know what's going to happen. Like any day now, the world is going to implode, but it already feels like it should be imploding now. All these things piling on top of each other. Like, why hasn't it imploded yet? Maybe it would be easier for me if it just imploded so I could know, so I could see what's going to happen. But I can't see. I can't see, and that's really freaking me out. But yeah, it's like I got my hands over my eyes, so I can't see. But then my hands are over my eyes. Do I not want to know? But I just said I did want to know. I don't know. I don't know what I want. I I don't know what the world wants from me either. I don't know what the solution is to all these problems. There's so many problems, right? What's the solution? Do I have to come up with the solution? Do I have to contribute to the solution? Is it one person changes the world kind of thing? Like, can I save the world? Am I supposed to save the world? But I'm kind of doing nothing. I'm doing nothing about any of these things. Ugh. Yeah, that feels kind of bad. Like, I feel kind of guilty. But it's like, I feel so overwhelmed. Which one would I even pick? right? No one expects me to cover them all. Do they? Maybe they do. Is everyone else doing that? I don't know. It's like I'm at home under my big pile of all these papers, and it's like an igloo of papers, but I won't poke my head out of the hole. I won't even poke my head out to see. It's like on one hand, I want to know what's going to happen after the big implosion. But then on the other hand, it's like I'm purposely keeping myself hidden and covered and sheltered so I don't know. I'm feeling this anxiety. Yes, it's anxiety, right? Isn't it? Everyone says anxiety is fear, so it's not. It's not though. Anxiety is wanting. So what do I want? I mean, I want it all to be over. I want to feel safe. I don't feel safe. And so I want to feel safe. That's making me anxious. I want safety. And it doesn't feel like there are any guarantees. Like I can't see any way to guarantee my safety, my security, my comfort. I can't see any way to secure my standard of living. What if a war breaks out here where I live? Like everything I've known would just go up in smoke. Could I handle that? It's like I don't think I can handle that level of change. To be honest, I don't feel like I can handle any change right now. It feels like I want to stay in my igloo. And even though the world is changing out there, I don't want to change. It's just me and my igloo. There's nothing in my igloo, it's just me. But I'm wearing pajamas, silk pajamas. So they're soft and they're cozy and it's comforting in here. But there's also nothing in here. There's no art on the walls. There's no kitchen either. It's just like a dog kennel, like a dog cage. But it's an igloo. It's made of ice, and I'm inside. And the igloo is in my office, in my corner office with the glass door. Ugh. It's like I don't want to step outside my comfy, cozy place. But at the same time, it's an igloo. That's not very comfy or cozy. It's cold. Silk pajamas are so thin. Yet I'm in a house of ice. What? Plus, it's boring in here. And it's scary out there, but at least it's not boring. So I don't know, I'm conflicted. It's like I want all these contradicting things, but it's like I am keeping myself in the contradiction so I don't have to face the core of it, the real issue. It's this fear of uncertainty and this fear of change and this idea that I can't handle it, whatever that change is. So I'm trying to make things not change. I'm trying to keep myself in the place of no change. But in the relative world, it doesn't work. Everything in the relative world changes. This ice igloo is going to melt. So it's like it's melting around me and it worked for some time, but it's not working now. Yeah. And so I'm seeing it melt and I'm seeing the time is running out. The change is approaching. Yeah, and I'm breathless. I'm panicking. It's a panic attack. Yeah, because I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave because I'll die. I'll die. Why will I die? I'll die because I don't have capability. I don't have capability to adapt to what is demanded of me. I'm being asked to change. The world is asking me to change. And I thought that once I got to this place, because I'm kind of successful, I got to this place of comfort, some level of success that I thought once I got here, I would never have to change again. Once I got here, it would be like a safe level where I could enjoy comfort and luxury. The comforts and luxury of this level, it felt satisfactory to me, adequate to me. And so I achieved it. But now it's like the world is asking me to change again. And I can't believe it. I'm kind of taken aback and pissed off. And it's like, how dare you ask of me that? Because I achieved the thing you told me, you society told me that once I got this thing, once I achieved this level, then I would be a poster child, a poster person of success. I would be comfortable. I would be happy. And even though I've been here for a few years, months, weeks, whatever, some length of time, I don't know if I was even happy. I don't even know if I felt that comfort, but I was forcing myself into it because I didn't want to change again. I didn't want to keep going, like keep evolving, keep growing, keep expanding. You're asking too much of me. Like I thought if I really put in the effort, the hard yards, the hard work, sweat away all my time, sacrifice my joy, my happiness, my comfort for a certain amount of time to achieve this thing, then I would get to retire, basically. Like someone who worked their whole lives for retirement, and then they get to retirement, and then it kind of sucks. Ugh, I'm looking back and I'm just realizing that what I thought was going to give me comfort kind of sucked the whole time. But now I've been keeping myself here. And I'm still keeping myself here right now as I'm speaking. And I still don't want to move, even though I can acknowledge it's not where happiness is, it's not fulfillment. It didn't give me what I thought it was going to give me. And so, my God, I don't know. Like, I can't believe I'm being asked to change again. I'm stuck there. And it's like, I'm out of the igloo and I'm looking from my office. There's a view of the city and I'm high up and I've got a fancy office. So I've got full glass windows, wall to ceiling, floor to ceiling windows. But I'm looking out and I've got my hands on my head and I'm frustrated and I'm tired, exhausted, and I feel damned. like, like, is this a sick joke? Yeah, it kind of hurts. It's like I'm putting my hand on a hot stove. Like, ouch, it stings. Because they promised me. They promised me. And the promise was never really delivered, despite how much I tried to convince myself it was. And now I'm still stuck here. So now I still don't want to move. So yeah, why do I keep talking about this? It's like I'm going round and round circles in this frustration, in this contradiction, because I don't want to move on. I don't want to move on to the next thing because you're going to ask me to change and I don't want to change. I want to say, are you so for real right now? But, ugh, I know, I'm going to have to change. I'm gonna have to change, so let's rip the band-aid off and let's just do it now. You see, now that I'm being asked to change and now that I'm stepping into the change, I have to admit that what I achieved didn't give me the satisfaction I thought it would. So that's pretty embarrassing. And now I have to tell the people in my life that I'm not satisfied with this thing I achieved, even though I pretended to be so happy. Ugh, and they were even like jealous of me, and they were even celebrating me, and I was there pretending. So now I have to admit that I was faking it. It's, you know, that doesn't feel good. So I think I was avoiding that. But that's kind of not as important as my actual fear of change. That's like a side thing. So let's put that to the side because I don't really care that much about that. Um, yeah. So what is it about change that I fear? Well, I think it's that I have to I'd admit to myself that I will be in consistent change. I always was in consistent change, even though I achieved this level of so-called success. My body was still aging, and every day, every night was still rolling over. And I bought new clothes, I sold my old clothes, I bought groceries every week, I tried different recipes, I went on weekend vacations, on holidays, I met new customers, made new friends. Things were still changing. Things were never not changing. Yeah, things are never not changing. But I thought I was going to get to this level of change where I didn't have to make any big changes anymore. These big changes, I'm scared of those. What am I scared of? I'm scared that I'll be exhausted. The change will be too much for me to handle. There's too much emotion with all of these changes because I don't know, even now it feels overwhelming. Like there are so many points I could talk about. Is it the fact that I've been going after changes, going after goals, achievements, which I don't actually want? And so every time I change, every time I achieve one of those and change my status somehow, change my skill level somehow, change my salary, my title, whatever it is, then it was never actually satisfying. And so I didn't want to make another big change and then be disappointed again, be not satisfied again. But then the other point is this lie that we've been fed that you hit all the common milestones, the high school graduation, the university graduation, the job, the spouse, the children, the house, the car, the holiday. So you achieve all those, you tick them off the list, and then once you tick them all off, then you're done. There's no more change, right? You just get to retire and enjoy the retirement. But even my experience of retirees, they haven't been, well, the retirees who thought they'd be loving life after retirement. I don't know. The ones that were waiting after this checklist type thing, none of them are happy. To be honest, it's the ones who retire but still change, still do things, still refresh, still explore, still go on adventures, still try new things. They're the ones who are happy. And they didn't see retirement as some kind of like plateau that they get to sit happily on. They just saw it as a phase change. I wasn't seeing phase changes as these transitory states. I was seeing them as achievements. And I was seeing them as if I could like finally relax after I achieved each level. Finally relax. Why do I have to finally relax? Yeah, it's like I was sacrificing pleasure, sacrificing joy to achieve these levels, these tick boxes, these checklist items. And I thought after I achieve it, then I can be happy. But that's not it, right? I swear, every movie, every book, they basically say that. And like I can comprehend it, but I wasn't living it. So now I'm being asked to confront that. And to confront it, I have to look back on my old behavior and admit that I wasn't doing what I thought I was doing. I thought I was doing life right, but I wasn't. Because now I see that being in flow with the consistent change, that's doing life right. Being adaptable in every moment. Being attuned to nature and being able to follow nature's flow, whatever that may be. There's no formula, there's no checklist, there's no exact same outline or path as someone else. That I have to detect it with my body, not with someone's course or someone's, I don't know, someone's formula. Yeah, I guess another part is that I have to admit that I had the answers all along, but instead, throughout this process of my checklist thing, I was looking to others for them to tell me how to live life right. But it's like all those movies and books and whatever, they say they say it's within. Yeah, I was ignoring that. It's what is within me. It's my identity as nature, my identity as universe. That big self, big capital S self, that's the one who is writing the story. So that's the one with the outline. That's the one with the so-called formula. But that's me. That's my identity. That's what I actually am. And so I need to listen to that, not to another human with a limited consciousness. I guess I'm also looking at those other humans with a limited consciousness who I used to look up to. And it's kind of embarrassing. Why did I look up to them? Why was I following their advice? I really put them on a pedestal. I really thought they knew more than me. But they're probably where I am right now, or they've experienced it, or they keep experiencing it and ignoring it. But I can't keep experiencing this over and over again. This feels horrible. Yeah, it feels horrible, really horrible. But now I look out to society and it's a lot of people act like this. And I was following their advice. Oh, I mean, I really didn't see, so I can't really blame myself. But now I see. So if I follow their advice again, then I will have to blame myself. Okay, that feels like a lot. Is there more? I feel like there is more. I feel like this might be a never-ending thing. So, so now what? Now I have to change. Have to change. It feels funny to even say that because change is inevitable and the change is going to happen whether I like it or not. And this have to sounds as if I can resist it if I wanted to, but I can't. I can't resist change, but I can resist the time that it comes. I can delay it, but the more that I delay, I know from my experience, the more rough the transition will be. Yeah, I'm being asked to adapt to newness just in general. But this has been happening forever. You know, I was once in high school. I'm not in high school anymore. That's a change. So why? It's like I was so excited to change for each of these checklist things because I really thought that it was going to bring me fulfillment, happiness. But then they didn't. So now I'm being asked to change again, but I don't have any checklist points left. And so I feel like I'm being asked to change, but there's no reward. There's no tangible outcome. And so that's that uncertainty. It's like, what am I going to get out of this? You're asking me to change, but I can't see what's going to come out of it yet. And that really freaks me out because previously I used to have an idea what having children would bring me, what my house would bring me, what my job would bring me, what graduating would bring me, all that. It's pretty cookie cutter. You know, there are uncertainties, but this feels different because what I'm being asked to change into, it hasn't been, there's no precedent. All the other stuff had precedent. I could, even if it was a unique situation, I knew that other people out there had experienced it before. But this feels like I'm being pushed towards something really new, really innovative, something on the precipice, or it's something that no one else has experienced either, and we're all experiencing it together, like AI or like COVID. And so the whole world is experiencing this newness, and yeah, maybe I'm feeling the fear of everyone as well, the collective fear about this new thing. But why can't I be a pioneer of adaptation? Why can't I be on the forefront of change? Why can't I take the first steps? Why not me? Why does it have to be someone else? Why am I so afraid of the uncertainty? I feel like I don't want to screw it up and I don't want to embarrass myself. I don't want to make a wrong decision. What if I make the decision to adopt AI into my company and it turns out to be a flop? What if I end up costing the business more money instead of saving money, like the project promised? But then what if it turns out to be really great? Or what if I'm choosing to invest in a new startup? What if it turns out to be a flop and I embarrass myself for believing in it? But then what if it turns out to be something amazing? It's about the social humiliation, embarrassment of standing up first, even if this thing is uncertain. Or I'm passionate about one of these causes, but I didn't think that my individual impact could do anything. And so I haven't stepped up into a role that serves it yet. Something about taking preemptive action. It would either make me the pioneer of something great or make me the pioneer of something really embarrassing, like an embarrassing failure. So, what happens if I fail? What happens if I do pioneer something that turns out to be a failure? I'm seeing my dad, and he's disappointed. He's sitting on a recliner chair and he's shaking his head. And he's kind of saying, I always knew you would fuck up. I always knew you'd embarrass this family. I always knew you'd be a failure. It's like he's been waiting for me to fail. I think that's why I was so hung up on getting this checklist ticked off and doing everything right because I really wanted to prove to him that I'm not a failure. He had the wrong idea about me. Why did he think that though? Because it doesn't feel like I'm making this up. Feels like he actually targeted me. I have other I have other siblings and he didn't treat them like he treated me. Something about my ambition. I had this ambition when I was younger, but he didn't want me to follow it because he didn't want me to be like him. He sees himself in me. He thinks we're quite similar, actually. And he too had this ambition when he was younger. But he failed. And, well, he blamed himself. I don't know if other people blamed him. I don't know if other people even cared, but the shame he felt about it made him feel like he was a bad person. Because why did he feel so much shame about this? He thought that this was going to save his family. He wanted to provide for his wife. He wanted to give her the nice things in life. And he thought that this would be the way to provide that for her. And so it wasn't about the endeavor itself. It wasn't about the project or the business he was working on. It was about what it would provide for him and his family. And it was more like a showcase of his love. And so by failing to succeed in this endeavor, it was like he failed to be able to show how much he really loved his family. And so he felt like he let down his family, his wife. He felt like not a man because he couldn't provide what he thought his family deserved. And I might be a man, but even if I'm not a man, he doesn't want me to feel that same disappointment he felt in himself. He doesn't want me to feel disappointed in myself. And so he always shut down my ideas. He thwarted them. Like I would come up with something innovative, something creative, and he would just, it was like he was swatting down a fly with one of those plastic fly swatters. Like I wasn't even being serious. Maybe I was young, just daydreaming ideas and speaking them out loud, but he would just cut them down in this sharp and violent way. And he just continued doing it. He never stopped doing that. He never gave me the space to even finish my sentence, my exploration of these ideas. And so I started to feel like I can't trust myself. I can't trust the ideas that I come up with. I guess I was young. I didn't know why he was swatting them down. I didn't know what the problem with them was. And so I guess my young brain just thought that I couldn't come up with good ideas, or that my ideas weren't worth, not even worth following, but not even worth conveying to someone else, but also not even worth thinking about them myself. It's like he didn't even want me to daydream. He didn't even want me to be creative. He didn't even want me to imagine. Maybe he imagined what his business would provide, and because it didn't provide what he imagined, that so much pain comes from the gap between his imagination and what actually happened. But that's very sad for him. But I'm not him. This feels so irrelevant to me. I'm not even mad at him because I can see how disappointed he is in himself. But I'm not mad at myself either. I'm just like a bit dumbfounded. Like, how did I let such a thing that's so irrelevant to my life literally take over my life? I've been living my entire life in this way, trying to achieve these generic checkbox items because all of my creative ideas were thwarted down when I was young. And now, how many years have I wasted? This feels like a big reckoning, but I also feel my creativity is already starting to seep back because the force of my creativity when I was young was so strong. But I guess I didn't even realize a point in time at which I stopped imagining. I stopped daydreaming. I stopped believing in innovation, seeing things that were outside of the norm for society. It's like it's like my brain reoriented just towards this very generic idea of the world. I used to be a very out of the box thinker. Yeah, just it feels like a long lost memory. Like that person who was like that younger version of me had been lost. I just forgot about it. Forgot about them. But they live inside me. They're in my history, in my past. And so they're not actually lost. They were just forgotten. Okay. So what do I do about my dad? I don't feel like I have to do anything there. I feel quite separate from his experience. And even though he clearly had a direct impact on me, I don't feel like blaming him. I don't know, I don't feel emotional about that. So I'm just going to leave it. I think it's fine. Um, so now back to the change. Yeah, if I make a change and I fail, or if I pioneer something different, unique, new, innovative, and it fails, then what? I don't care, actually. Turns out my young self would just dream up the next thing. I think I was constantly dreaming up things, and that was so fun for me. And so it's almost like if it fails, then that's great. I get to dream up something new. Yeah, it feels really fun. Even the failure feels fun. Okay, so now change is coming, and I'm called upon to get on board, to pioneer it, to take steps, to take action. How do I feel? I feel good. I feel excited. I feel like I'm anticipating fun, adventure, exploration. Feels like this lost younger part of me, I forgot about it, but it doesn't feel like it ever left. It felt like it was sitting right in front of me and I was blind to it, but it still remains such a prominent part of me that it doesn't feel like I need to dig it out and reacquaint myself with it or anything like that. It feels so natural and it feels so ready. Yeah, it feels like I've got a new business partner, like a new creative director of my life. Like it's not about business ideas. It's not even about tackling worldly change, but this is changing everything. Like I feel so ready to change everything. I could change my appearance, I can change my routines, I can change where I live, I can change my work, I can change the society, I can change the world, change the universe, change my identity, expand my identity. It feels like endless possibilities have been awakened, enlivened. This larger part of me is ready to make itself apparent to me. Yeah, these realms of creativity have been knocking at my door for so long, but now I can let them in. It was like I couldn't hear them. I was in my igloo, but it feels like color, very colorful. I'm seeing like the Holi festival in India where they throw the colored powder. And so I'm already imagining all these new possibilities. I'm already seeing next steps to take. I'm already seeing action plans. I'm already seeing all these options open up in front of me that were there all along, but I couldn't see them. And now I feel really clear. Before it felt icy, like it felt like if I color graded the view of my world out through my eyes, it was very tinted in this icy blues and grays and whites. And so it wasn't gray, but it wasn't the full spectrum of color. But now I'm seeing extreme, vivid, colorful, colorfulness. Yeah, I feel a new vitality within my body, a new vibrancy. Everything feels vibrant now. Yeah, I can't wait. I want to start now. I'll start now.